Okay, so we're diving into A Man for All Markets, Ed Thorp's autobiography.
Yeah?
And from just glancing at the PDF, I'm already seeing you're interested in more than just his blackjack card counting system.
Oh, yeah, for sure. There's so much more to this guy,
Right.
pushing boundaries.
Okay, what really jumps out to you?
Well, what I find fascinating is how Thorpe's early life during the Depression really set the stage for his future success.
Okay, interesting.
Imagine, like, young Ed counting to 1 million.
Wow, 1 million?
Yeah, using a Sears catalog.
Oh, wow.
And his family, they, like, developed this whole system for preserving food from their garden.
Yeah.
Talk about resourcefulness.
Yeah, definitely resourcefulness. And even at 9 years old with a paper route buying war bonds, that's commitment.
Oh, definitely. But then having his mother cash in those bonds.
Oh, right.
Must have been like a tough lesson in financial independence.
Absolutely. Yeah, a betrayal.
Yeah. Probably shaped his views on money management later on.
For sure. It's interesting how these events, alongside growing up just miles from Louis Zamperini, the hero of Unbroken,
Oh, yeah.
it paints such a vivid picture of the time. Makes you wonder how much the historical backdrop influenced his drive.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And this drive is so evident throughout his youth. Like, his fascination with science.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the stories about his near-death experiences with homemade explosives.
Yeah, right.
Captivating.
Talk about a risk taker, but also shows this incredible curiosity,
Oh, yeah.
this willingness to experiment, even if it got him in trouble.
Right.
Like that time he died, the Long Beach plunge red.
Classic.
Yeah.
Couldn't resist a challenge, could he?
No, it seems not, whether it was chess,
Right.
which got him banned from a neighbor's pool table, or figuring out how things worked, even if it meant bending the rules.
Exactly. He was brilliant, obviously, but even he faced setbacks.
Yeah.
Like placing fourth
Oh, yeah.
in the Westinghouse Science Talent Search
Yeah.
because he didn't have a slide rule.
Oh, wow.
It makes you think
Yeah.
about the right tools, access
Yeah.
to opportunities. Who knows what he could have achieved even earlier with the right resources.
Now, his path takes this interesting turn towards gambling during his college years.
Yeah.
But it's not like a random detour, you
Why
know?
not?
It's like a continuation of that scientific curiosity we've
Exact.
been talking about.
Like, think about his first trip to Las Vegas.
Right.
Observing the winners and losers, the allure of easy money, but also that harsh reality of the odds.
Absolutely. It's a pivotal moment, right?
Totally.
Foreshadowing his
Okay.
future
Oh, for sure.
endeavors. And remember that story about him telling his teacher, Jack Chasen, that he would one day beat the casinos?
Oh, yeah.
It's like he was setting his life's mission.
What's interesting is that even then, he was thinking about predicting roulette outcomes, right?
Okay.
Comparing the spinning ball to planetary orbits, like
Yeah.
applying physics to gambling.
Yeah.
That early fascination, it becomes this defining characteristic
Yeah.
of his approach later on.
Speaking of college, remember how he survived on less than $100 a month after his mother's betrayal?
Right.
Talk about resourcefulness.
Yeah, and that unfair encounter with the textbook reward system,
Oh, right.
like he had this sense of fairness.
Right.
He refused to be exploited.
He was constantly seeking ways to
Yeah.
level the playing field, outsmart systems that seemed rigged against him.
Definitely. And that leads us to his breakthrough with card counting, right?
Right.
It all started when he revisited that roulette prediction idea
Okay.
from high school
Yeah.
while he was in grad school.
Yeah. Amazing how that seed of an idea stayed with him.
But the real eureka moment, it happened in the tea room.
Okay.
He realized that the changing composition of a deck of cards
Yeah.
could be analyzed like a physics problem.
Right.
This wasn't just luck.
Yeah.
It was about understanding these underlying principles,
Right.
using math to gain an edge.
That's right. It's like he was applying the scientific method to gambling, meticulously testing, refining his approach. And to make sure he was on the right track, he reached out to Claude Shannon.
One of the greatest minds of the 20th century.
Talk about seeking out the best.
And their collaboration went beyond blackjack, too. They built a wearable computer
Wow.
to predict roulette outcomes.
No way. Like a...
It's straight out of a spy movie.
Right.
Yeah.
So now we have Ed, armed with his card counting system, and a wearable computer for roulette. So where does he go from here?
He decides to share his findings with the world,
Wow.
presenting his blackjack strategy at a meeting of the American Mathematical Society.
Oh, wow.
And this is where things get interesting.
This is where his blackjack story really takes off.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me everything.
Okay, so picture this. Ed's giving his presentation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly, it's not just mathematicians in the audience. There are reporters, shady characters.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone wants a piece of this strategy.
Wow, the media attention must have been...
Overwhelming. A complete whirlwind.
Mm.
But in the midst of all this chaos, Ed decides to put his strategy to the ultimate test.
Oh, okay.
High-stakes blackjack game in Reno.
This is what he called the Day of the Lamb.
Right. Exactly. The casino saw him as an easy target,
Uh-huh.
a lamb going to the slaughter.
Oh, wow.
But Ed, he knew he had the edge, right?
Yeah.
Confident in his system, ready to prove them wrong.
And he won.
The Day of the Lamb became a legendary moment in gambling history, right? Solidified Ed's reputation as someone who could beat the odds.
Wow, but his story doesn't stop there.
Well, no, this is just the beginning of Ed Thorp's journey.
Right. So far, we've seen him conquer blackjack, develop cutting-edge tech, and take on the casinos. So where does his journey lead him next?
Well, Ed's appetite for intellectual challenges and, financial success
Yeah.
doesn't end with blackjack. He goes on to write a book, Beat the Market, and starts exploring new ways to apply his analytical skills.
That's right, he relocates to New Mexico to teach. But it's not long before he's drawn back to the world of risk and reward.
Oh, no.
Taking a rather unusual trip
Yes.
to Las Vegas.
With some friends.
Right, with some friends.
Right.
This is where we see those blackjack skills in action again.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But this time, he's not just playing for himself, right? He's part of a team pooling their knowledge
Right.
to take on the casinos.
And their success attracts some unwanted attention.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
They encounter some shady characters who try to sabotage their winning streak, even slipping something into Ed's drink.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a reminder that the world of gambling can be a dangerous place, especially when you're winning big.
Sounds intense.
Yeah,
But despite those challenges, Ed and his team walk away with a profit.
they do. And this experience, it reinforces Ed's understanding of risk management,
Right.
a concept that'll be central to his investment strategies later on.
It makes sense. But before we jump into his investing career, we got to talk about his collaboration with Claude Shannon
Ah, yeah.
on roulette prediction.
The wearable computer.
Right. This is where their combined genius shines, right?
Oh, yeah.
They developed this device that can predict roulette outcomes with remarkable accuracy using physics and timing.
It's incredible.
It's a testament to their ability to, turn theory into reality,
Absolutely. And they actually test this in the casinos, too.
They do. Wow.
Another example of Ed's willingness to push those boundaries, to combine theory with real-world application.
Amazing. We've seen him conquer blackjack and roulette, develop groundbreaking technology, even outsmart the casinos. So what's next for Ed Thorp?
Well, get ready, because Ed's next chapter takes him deep into the world of finance,
Okay.
where he applies those analytical skills and risk management principles to a new challenge, beating the stock market.
This is where his hedge fund career takes off,
You
right?
got it.
Wow, that's quite a leap from card counting. How did he transition into this complex world?
It's a fascinating evolution.
Mm.
He starts by managing money for friends and colleagues,
Okay.
using the principles he outlined in Beat the Market.
Yeah.
And his success, it attracts attention.
Oh, of course.
And soon he's partnering with, experienced financiers
Okay.
to launch a full-fledged hedge fund.
So he wasn't just a brilliant mathematician.
Whoa.
He also had a knack for business.
Absolutely. He understood the importance of collaboration, right?
Yeah.
Building a team with diverse expertise
Yeah.
to navigate the complexities of the markets.
And their approach was revolutionary, right?
Oh, yeah.
They're using math and computers in ways that were
Unheard of at the time.
unheard of at the time.
Pioneers in quantitative finance, developing algorithms and trading strategies that exploited inefficiencies in the market.
So they were printing money at this point.
Not quite. There were definitely challenges Ed had to constantly innovate,
Right.
staying ahead of the curve as more people started using similar techniques.
Right. Like if everyone's using the same strategies, those inefficiencies disappear.
Exactly. It's like a constant game of cat and mouse.
And Ed faced other obstacles too, like navigating the ethical dilemmas of the financial world, dealing with shady characters, even facing legal scrutiny during an insider trading investigation.
Right. The stakes were much higher
Yeah.
than in the casinos.
But through it all, Ed stayed true to his core principles, right?
Absolutely.
Intellectual rigor, risk management, and a relentless pursuit of knowledge.
It's impressive how he managed to, navigate such a high-pressure environment while staying true to himself.
Right. So how did his hedge fund journey ultimately play out?
Well, Prince and Newcourt partners enjoyed remarkable success for nearly 2 decades,
Wow.
generating impressive returns for their investors. But eventually, Ed decided to step back from the day-to-day operations.
Why was that?
Well, there were a few reasons. The legal scrutiny took a toll, and the market landscape was changing rapidly. But Ed also wanted to explore new interests,
Okay.
like philanthropic endeavors, spending more time with his family.
It makes sense that after such incredible success, he'd want to shift his focus. So what did he do next?
He didn't fully retire. Ed continued to manage investments for himself and his family,
Okay.
exploring new strategies, keeping a close eye on market trends. He also wrote more books, gave lectures, mentored younger generations of investors, sharing the lessons he'd learned throughout his career.
It's inspiring to see that even after leaving the hedge fund world, he was still deeply engaged in finance and investing.
Right, but Ed's story is more than just high-stakes ventures and market strategies,
Right.
In the next part of our deep dive, we'll explore Ed Thorp's personal finance philosophy,
Okay, great.
uncovering his strategies for building wealth, managing risk, and achieving financial freedom.
I'm looking forward to it. It's fascinating how someone who spent so much time, analyzing gambling and investing also has this down-to-earth approach to personal finance.
Right. You'd think it'd be all high-flying, complicated strategies, but it's
Right.
really not. He starts with a fundamental question. How much is enough? It's something he explores in his book, and it's a question we should all be asking ourselves, really.
It's easy to get caught up in chasing more wealth.
Oh, absolutely.
But he encourages us to define our financial goals, figure out what really matters.
Exactly. It's not about just accumulating money. It's about using it to live a more fulfilling life,
I love that perspective.
Mhm.
It's not about the money itself, it's what it enables you to do.
Yeah, he calls it buying back time. you
Yeah.
know, Creating freedom and flexibility.
Right. And he also talks about the trade-offs between time, money, and health.
Oh, yeah. That's a big one.
Right. Like he gives the example of someone with a long commute.
Yeah.
Sometimes spending more on housing to live closer to work
Right.
can actually save you money and improve your overall well-being in the long run.
Totally.
Okay.
It's about understanding your priorities, making choices that align with them. And Ed doesn't shy away from the less glamorous aspects of personal finance either, like
Right.
budgeting, tracking expenses.
Right. Knowing where your money's going.
Yeah. He approaches personal finance with the same analytical rigor he applied to blackjack and the stock market.
Makes sense.
Understand your income and expenses, create a balance sheet, regularly evaluate your financial situation. These might sound basic, but they're crucial.
It's like he's saying, don't just wing it, even with your personal finances.
Exactly. Apply that same level of analysis and strategy
Right.
you would to any other important decision.
Right. He's all about understanding the numbers, calculating your net worth, and making informed choices.
Data and evidence.
Yeah, and he believes everyone can benefit from this, not just mathematicians or investors.
Absolutely. But it's not all just cold, hard calculations either.
Right.
He recognizes the psychological factors,
Right.
that influence our financial decisions.
Yeah.
He talks about biases like anchoring,
Anchoring.
where we get fixated on a certain number, like the price we paid for something.
Oh, interesting.
This can lead to irrational choices, even when the data suggests otherwise.
Can you give me an example?
Sure, like someone hesitant to sell a house for less than they bought it,
Right.
even if it's the logical move.
Right. It's interesting how he brings these psychological concepts to life.
Yeah.
With real-world financial examples.
He's great at connecting theory and practice. And this brings us to another core element, the magic of compound growth.
Ah, yes. The snowball effect.
Exactly.
He constantly emphasizes this. Understanding this can make a huge difference, right?
Absolutely.
In your long-term financial success.
He uses the simple mental model, the Rule of 72, to illustrate how quickly money can grow
Okay.
when you reinvest your earnings,
Right.
So the power is starting early, letting your money work for you.
The Rule of 72, it's a great tool for understanding the potential of long-term growth.
Totally demonstrates how even small amounts invested consistently can grow significantly over time.
And Ed walks the walk, right? His own investment journey is a testament to the power of patiently compounding returns.
Absolutely. So how does this philosophy translate to his own investment strategies? Well, he's a firm believer in index fund investing,
Okay.
especially for those who don't want to spend their time researching individual stocks.
Right.
He emphasizes keeping it simple, minimizing fees,
Right.
allowing that compound growth to do its work.
So you don't need to be a Wall Street wizard
Yo.
to build wealth.
He highlights Sharpe's principle,
Okay.
which basically argues that active investors, as a whole, can't outperform the market. Because they are the market.
That's a powerful concept.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
It suggests that trying to outsmart the market is often a losing game.
And Ed backs this up with data, right?
Oh, yeah. Showing that over the long term, index funds consistently outperform most actively managed mutual funds.
So sometimes the simplest approach is the most effective.
Often, yeah. But he does acknowledge that there are times when active investing can make sense.
Okay, when would that be?
If you have specialized knowledge or can identify market inefficiencies. He shares examples from his own experience, like the Palm Pilot 3Com situation,
Okay.
where a clear mispricing created an opportunity for savvy investors to profit.
It's intriguing to think about those hidden opportunities, those moments when the market isn't perfectly efficient.
But even with these opportunities, he emphasizes having a solid investment strategy.
Right.
Doing your research, managing risk carefully. No investment is foolproof.
Right. And speaking of risk management, Ed's experience in silver trading provides valuable lessons, right?
Oh, yeah.
It shows how even brilliant minds can get caught up in market hype
And make mistakes.
and make mistakes. His silver story, it's a classic example of how excessive leverage...
Can wipe out your gains, even if your initial analysis is correct.
Right, so managing risk is just as important as identifying opportunities.
Absolutely. And he also talks about the emotional side of investing, too.
Oh, right, like the story of his house cleaner who sold her Berkshire Hathaway stock after the '87 crash.
Heartbreaking, right?
Yeah, it highlights how fear and panic can lead to these irrational decisions.
Especially during market turmoil.
He emphasizes having a long-term plan, sticking to your strategy, not letting short-term fluctuations derail your goals.
Discipline and patience are key.
Absolutely. He's a big believer in the power of time and compound growth. He encourages investors to think long-term, ride out the ups and downs, and let their investments grow steadily.
It's a refreshing perspective in a world that often celebrates quick profits and overnight success.
So we've covered a lot. Defining financial goals, understanding compound growth, managing risk, navigating the psychological aspects of investing. But there's another piece to Ed's story we haven't touched on yet. Giving back.
That's right. Ed's story isn't just about achieving financial success for himself.
Right.
It's also about using that success to make a positive impact.
In the next part of our deep dive, we'll explore his philanthropic journey, uncovering his approach to charitable giving and his passion for supporting causes he believes in. It's remarkable how someone so focused on the analytical side of things, like cracking the code of blackjack and outsmarting the stock market, also has this strong belief in giving back.
Yeah, it's like a balance.
Yeah.
Recognizing that true success goes beyond just personal gain.
Absolutely.
There's a sense of responsibility
Yeah.
to contribute to something larger.
And his approach to philanthropy is so fascinating. It's not just about writing checks. It's about making a real difference.
He talks about transformative giving, finding opportunities where your contribution has an exponential effect, not just a small, incremental one.
Right.
Maximizing the impact of your giving.
Like his decision to endow a mathematics chair at UC Irvine, that wasn't just about funding a position.
Right.
It was about creating this lasting legacy of mathematical excellence.
An investment in the future, supporting the next generation of mathematicians and scientists. And his inspiration for this actually came from Benjamin Franklin,
Oh, interesting.
who established these revolving loan funds
Okay.
that compounded over time, generating massive funds for public works.
It's like applying the principles of compound growth to philanthropy.
Exactly. Ed understood the power of long-term thinking, even in giving. He wanted to create an impact that would extend far beyond his own lifetime.
And this commitment to transformative giving is also evident in his support for stem cell research.
Oh, absolutely.
He played a crucial role in funding that state-of-the-art research facility at UC Irvine.
Right, at a time when stem cell research faced so many challenges, political roadblocks, funding issues, Ed recognized the potential of this field and stepped up to ensure that vital research could continue.
It's inspiring to see him championing causes he believed in, especially those facing obstacles.
He didn't just donate money either. He was actively involved,
Right.
shaping the direction of the research, ensuring the funds were used effectively, a hands-on approach to philanthropy.
So philanthropy wasn't just an afterthought for Ed, it was a core part of his life's work. It's a reminder that we can all make a difference,
Absolutely, regardless of our resources.
Right. His approach to giving offers valuable lessons for everyone, I think.
I agree. It's about finding causes you resonate with, being strategic, aligning your actions with your values.
Ed's journey is truly inspiring. But he also encountered that darker side of the financial world, didn't he? He witnessed firsthand the dangers of unchecked greed
Oh, yeah.
and the consequences of ethical lapses.
He saw the excesses of Wall Street, you know?
Hmm.
The risky derivatives, the excessive leverage, the pursuit of profit at any cost. And he was vocal about these issues too.
Yeah.
He even drew parallels between the risky behavior on Wall Street and the worlds of gambling,
Interesting.
highlighting how those same patterns can lead to disastrous outcomes.
It's a reminder that even in the pursuit of financial success, we have to prioritize ethical considerations. It's about finding that balance
Right.
between profit and responsibility.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up our deep dive into Ed Thorp's life, what are your biggest takeaways? What stands out to you most?
For me, it's the incredible breadth of his journey. He was a mathematician who cracked the code of blackjack, a pioneer in quantitative finance, a successful investor, a philanthropist dedicated to making a difference. He defied categorization,
Yeah.
constantly pushing boundaries.
Lifelong learner.
Absolutely. And he showed us that success isn't just about luck or talent.
Right.
It's about having a clear vision, taking calculated risks, and never stopping learning and growing.
Ed's story has something for everyone, no matter their background or interests. It's a story of intellectual curiosity, perseverance, and the power of using your knowledge and skills to make a positive impact on the world.
What's particularly striking is how his work has inspired countless others to explore the world of quantitative finance and challenge those traditional notions of investing.
Right. His legacy extends far beyond his own accomplishments.
He changed the way we think about risk, probability, the very nature of markets.
A profound contribution.
And it's inspiring to think about the ripple effects of his ideas, how they continue to shape the financial landscape even today.
Absolutely. His story reminds us that we all have the potential to leave a lasting mark on the world, even in unexpected ways.
So what resonates most strongly with you? What paths might you forge if you applied his principles to your own life? Remember, there's a world of possibilities out there just waiting to be explored.